Chapter 1. The Last Clear Sky. The sky was clear that morning. Too clear. Years later, when the memories of that day have bled into nightmares, that's a detail I'll remember more than anything else. Not the blood curdling screams, not the thunderous explosions that shook the earth, not even the jagged, terrifying silhouettes of the alien ships. Just the sky, because it was the last normal thing I would ever see. The final bell rang, its shrill whine signaling the end of the school day. Within seconds, a tidal wave of students flooded out of the gates and spilled onto the chaotic city streets. Cars honked in a discordant symphony. Street vendors shouted over the din to sell their snacks, and the afternoon heat pressed down on us. Life was moving exactly as it always had, and the six of us walked home together, completely oblivious. "You're cheating," Kai Sanda said, bumping his shoulder heavily against mine. I nearly laughed, sidestepping a cracked patch of sidewalk. "I'm literally not." "You are." "I'm not." "You are." "I'm not." "How am I cheating, Kai?" I asked, turning to him with an amused smirk. "You memorize the test answers." "That's called studying." "Same thing." Mia rolled her eyes, stepping up beside us. "You do realize that's what studying is, right, Kai?" Kai stopped in his tracks, pointing a dramatic, accusing finger at her. "See? This is why I don't ask smart people questions." From my other side, Jace let out a loud laugh. "No, you don't ask questions because you are allergic to thinking." Kai's reaction was instantaneous. He lashed out and kicked Jace right in the shin. Hard. Jace yelled, hopping on one foot. "Think fast," Kai smirked. "You literally just proved my point." The group burst out laughing, the sound ringing out over the ambient noise of the city. A few steps behind the rest of us, Ethan Reyes walked with his head down. Naturally, he was holding a small screwdriver. Again. "Are you seriously fixing something while walking?" I asked, looking back at him. Ethan didn't even glance up, his focus entirely consumed by the gadget in his hands. "I'm repairing my phone." "Ethan, your phone has been broken for 3 years. It's being repaired." "It's dead." "It's recovering." Mia let out a heavy sigh, looking at her brother. "He's hopeless." "You're related to him," Jace pointed out, still rubbing his shin. "Exactly. Don't remind me." Beside Ethan, the final member of our group smiled quietly. Noah Cruz. He was always the calm one, the anchor of our chaotic circle, content to just listen while the rest of us yelled. He was the exact opposite of Kai, who was currently crouching down and trying to convince a stray street cat to join our ranks. "You can't adopt every cat you see, man," I called out to him. "Watch me," Kai whispered back, holding out a hand. The cat took one look at his eager face and immediately bolted into an alley. "Rude," Kai muttered, dusting off his knees as he stood back up. Everyone laughed again. It was a perfect, ordinary afternoon. None of us noticed the sky changing. Not yet. The first sign wasn't a sound. It was the absence of it. The birds suddenly stopped singing. The ambient roar of traffic died down as cars slowed to a crawl. Around us, chatter fizzled out into an eerie, suffocating silence. People stopped walking. They looked upward. First came the confusion, then the brewing fear, then absolute terror. I followed their gazes, looking up at the beautiful, clear blue expanse. My breath hitched. A giant crack, glowing with an unnatural, violent blue light, ripped across the sky. It stretched from horizon to horizon, jagged and bleeding energy, looking as if reality itself had just shattered like glass. Nobody moved, nobody breathed. The entire city held its collective breath as the crack grew larger and larger and larger, and then something emerged from the tear. Ships, thousands of them. They were massive, oppressive black vessels, descending from the heavens like falling monoliths. The sheer scale of them defied logic. The invasion had begun, and we were entirely defenseless. Kai's voice was barely a breath, stripped of all its usual humor. "Guys." Nobody answered him. We couldn't. For the first time in our lives, the six of us were paralyzed by pure, unadulterated fear. Above us, the largest ship crawled forward, its massive hull blocking out the sun. The vibrant afternoon light vanished, plunging the city into a cold, premature shadow. Suddenly, the silence shattered. Air raid sirens began screaming a frantic, wailing alarm. In the distance, military jets launched into the air, their engines roaring as they streaked toward the alien fleet. The crowd broke. People began to run, screaming, scattering in every direction as panic took hold of the streets. But I couldn't move. I stared up at the darkness swallowing the sky, and a terrible, freezing certainty washed over me. Everything was about to change forever.